Alrighty, what's going on, guys? Today is Friday, May the 10th, 2024. What we're going to be looking at is dollar index and then our futures market. Really quick, let me go ahead and pull this up. Now, the goal of the day, just going to say this right from the beginning, the goal of the day is to not give back our profits from this week. You know, we've had two really, really big wins this week that really set us up for this week. And something I've learned in the last 2 weeks is, having relatively the same type of outcomes the last 2 weeks to now coming into this Friday and kind of understanding, the main goal is don't give back. So if I can find, one or two setups today that, fit our criteria of what we're trying to see, then I'm, more than welcome to looking for that trade. But like I said, I don't want to give back house money. So we'll go ahead and go into top-down analysis here. Just looking at dollar index, we did have the news this morning for, let me make sure and check I say the right one because I've been saying it backwards. Yeah, so we did have the news for the unemployment rate today, which did come out. I need to refresh that. And then we did come off of yesterday's news where we had unemployment claims. So unemployment claims came out yesterday higher than projected, which will set us up potentially for interest rate cuts in June. So that's kind of interesting to see what happens. And then today, we ended up having another release, which I want to see the actual numbers. It wasn't showing me the exact numbers for some reason. And that actually was down by 0.1%. So pretty good there. We'll kind of see more as we go into the overview for next week on what we're really expecting there. But from a charts technicals perspective, right? Looking at dollar, we were seeing this week be really, really bullish to start off. We did come off that 106.50 tap and kind of push away. And so for me, when you're looking at like a daily 4 hour here, what I'm looking for today is, are we going to stay inside of this last down candle here? Or are we going to start making our way down to attack the 104.85, the 104.50 area? Because, pretty much if they do that, then I can anticipate us over, between now and the end of this quarter getting down below 104 and inside this last down candle, right? And if that's to happen, right, if we start getting more downside, I would expect more upside on our XXX USDs, so your Euro USDs, your GBP USDs, potentially our indices and futures. So that's kind of what I'm seeing there for today. I think we might get a little bit of, push down here into the 20 levels, and then we'll kind of evaluate as they take internal liquidity. Now, when it comes to our futures markets, how much time we have? About 5 minutes. When you look at the dailies across the board, we've been bullish for a while now. If you look at the beginning of May 2024 here, we've been very bullish. And if you look for the whole year, we've been, pretty bullish, right? Especially since we came back right below that open. I believe it was like right when we were moving. And then price rallies up, comes back and touches and mitigates off the same area and goes again. So we've come to a point where I do believe we wanted to get to that 18,350 here on NQ. We've definitely exceeded the level that I was anticipating when it comes to ES, and then YM obviously was just a crazy push in the last just few days, just getting back up into the 39.8s, from the basically 39. So that's almost 600 points just since this week of movement to the upside. So you can anticipate some people taking profits today, I would think. If not, then it's just going to be I call it a tap and go move that continues to the upside. And then when you look at, let's see here. When you look at that 4 hour and the actual closure of the candles, right? If you look at NQ on the far left here, we have had a nice candle close, nice and strong through this level. Now, the question is for me today is, are we going to continue this run? Right? Or are we going to start breaking down inside of this 4 hour candle at the 18,250 level? And the same thing with ES, right? We've come up to 52.50. We're very extended from the bull side. Maybe some people start taking some profits off this position and we retrace first before rallying again. But like I said, I'm not going to guess. I'm just going to play whatever I see. And then looking at this more intraday 1 hour, something I was looking at was this last down candle. We came down to 18,250 and we bounced perfectly and have responded well. So we'll really be patient at that New York Open to see what we're going to get because, like I said, if we can't break the 18,300 highs, and same thing with ES here, if we can't go break 5260s or anything, like at least the high, let me see here, 5260 and 3/4. If we can't break this structure here, then we will start probably making our way down at some point today. Now just remember this too, it's a Friday, so sometimes they like to suppress the price until that lunchtime. So if you get caught, trying to take a trade, or and it's not going your way as quickly as possible, it might just because they're suppressing that price on a Friday. So I'm gonna make sure I'm logged in over here for NQ. Now, if I had to take a guess, like I said, when I look at smaller time frames here, I I kind of like both of them. So I'm actually gonna go show the intraday here of both. Okay, I'm just trying to. Okay, so this is kind of like the intraday of all of them, 15-minute time frames here. So what I can anticipate is that, what happens inside this last up candle on both. Now you have lower low, lower high, and then another push lower here with ES. So like I said, I would just really wait for New York price to present something. But just remember that Asian liquidity and daily is an alignment on ES, and relatively the same thing here on NQ. So we'll keep our focus for me personally today. Like I'm gonna kind of be switching between NQ and ES. But today I think I'm going to start with my focus mostly on NQ and see if we can find that position there. So trade safe, make sure you went through your traders constitutions, and don't give back Friday. Okay, just trying to make sure. Okay, make sure we're locked in here. I do have top steps and fast markets here on the side. Just kind of seeing what they're looking at today, see if they're going to be playing any positions. So okay. So we do have 8:30 open. We want to identify that first minute, what's really going on. Okay, so that first initial move looks like they're kind of pushing down, but one thing I like to do is observe the masses and do the opposite. So as they're pushing down to this 15 5-minute candle, they may hold this low right here, which would be interesting. Pretty high on the swing for me. I would rather see prices continue to fall lower. The really, really beautiful move to me already was ES. ES 15-minute, I can show her here really fast. If these sells do end up playing out throughout New York Open, that was very beautiful. Push lower. You're at New York Open, you have about let's say 52, 58, and your risk would have been 55. So about a 3-point risk on that trade, which would have been pretty fire. But let's be patient here. So I preferably would like to buy below daily open, but I do like how this reaction is looking here, right? For the continuation to the upside above 18.3s, and I would really like 18.350 to be revisited. So it just really depends on what we get, but that looks really damn good right there. So we just be patient here. So I am going to start framing this up because if it comes back down here, I have a stop loss placement of right here, 257 and a quarter. 257 and a quarter here. I'm not missing anything here, right? I know 350s is my goal. I'm gonna put 400 here. Okay, so it can come back down into the same area, right? That's what I would love to see potentially. It come back below New York Open and give me a chance here with using this as my risk. Now this would be way too much as price is skyrocketing, so I may have missed that initial move, which is fine. So let me write this down here. So false move down there at the very beginning, which is good. Now if they go and break 18,300, that 5-minute high really quickly, then this buy would become irrelevant to me. On a higher time frame though, I need to pay attention here as well. Now that is skyrocketing already, but one thing I want to pay attention to, like I said, is 15.5, and we never broke structure here, the 18,250, so that's why I'm kind of thinking that this level might hold from here, basically. Right, so if that continues to hold, then that's that move is just gone. It's already kind of taken off, so that's fine. We'll be patient. Now they can't break through this level right here in 18,300. Then this may be a fake out to go higher, and this may end up being a really really good short because if you think about it, you have your whole level, you have your 15-minute last up candle, and then we're at that 80 level in a sense. So the open of this candle is 294s. It would just take something for me to really want to trade it, in that situation. So I don't personally see that. I'd rather see it continue. But I am watching this higher time frame here. So it looks like they're going to push on through those levels, which is fine. Let's just continue to watch here. That 15 and 5 really built up nice. Big push through the highs, right? ES still holding. So this is good. Let's just continue to watch. So I'm going to remove this box here. Now, like I said, that 15.5 position was really, really, really legit there. We'll go back on the recordings later and see that, but now, as we make our way higher, that's anticipated, right? We are looking at those dailies. I want to bring that over here really quick. We're looking at those dailies, and we're anticipating price to slip this wick 18,350. Now, when price slips this wick of 18,350, I could see price really fall dramatically fast. I mean, we're coming off of 3 to 4 bullish days here, so just kind of want to put that in perspective there. Okay, so let me pay attention here. I just want to identify that this was like a high of the day type of liquidity grab. So, and then we still have ES inside the range, which is very interesting, to be honest. 18,320s. So if price can break lower here and close in the next 5 seconds, then I could start essentially framing up the shorts from the high of the market. I don't have to think hard about my risk, right? Because 18,320 flat is going to be the risk. So let's see here. 320 flat, and then take profits would be daily open. So it's going to be 225s. 18,225s, that can work. Okay, so let's see how this looks here. I like that price right there. What's that risk going to look like for me? Let me take a look at ES though. Now we are still kind of pushing higher, and 5-minute hasn't really showed us anything yet. So, and that didn't close lower, so we're not really signaled into the trade right now of anything. Like I said, let's look at the timing here. That first 5-minute close was a big break, so Let's see here. Okay, so we can, that's invalid at this point because that's where we were wanting our risk. So we'll just continue to watch now. We'll probably go into these last 15 minutes of this hour, and that's where we may see any kind of transition. Now, if price continues to just run from the 18,250 level going all the way up to 18,350, then I'll just be patient and wait for that area because I know on higher time frames that that's more of a key area. But yeah, let me take some notes here. 835. Okay, so from 830 to 835, all we did was get strength and prices continue to rally. And then ES has yet to break the 5260 and 3/4. So it looks like it's about to blast through. And then damn, YM is going crazy, right? So when they're running the price like this fast, I do think they're going to push to those 4 hour levels. So we're just going to be patient. Now these highs, if you can tell, on like a smaller time frame, have left double tops. So that could be a level of resistance, or that could be a level of a target going forward. But I do want to go ahead and kind of have my mind around this area of liquidity grab just in case. Understanding where my stop loss would be, obviously in that 320s. And let's see if timing can and go with us here. 320s, we're looking at 225s, 225s on the buy or the take profit side. So we'll see. The risk is minimal right now, but I don't want to just take something that we don't have, a full signal on. So just gonna be patient here. Like I said, our goal is to finish this week not giving back and being flawless. So can't be perfect, but we can be progressive. So 835 to 840, no signs of weakness, right? So I'm gonna get to writing here. Okay, so no signs of weakness. That trade's invalid here. We don't have to worry about this yet. So prices are still running, right? And if you take a look at ES running, look at the 4 hours. Those are really running to the price levels that we wanted. So this is going to be one of those Fridays, I believe, that they're going to run the price to those higher time frame levels, and then we're going to have to be patient for the breakdown of that into the PM session. So, like I said, I'm not going to project or try to be Nostradamus and guess. We'll play what we see. Now, as we get, I want to actually go ahead and mark this so we know when we get there a little bit later. But as we get into those 350s, I do want to know and have that idea, right? Now, let me actually go in and mark the 400s as well. Because 350 is going to be key for us, but that 400 is also going to be a big key for us. 18,400. And then we need to do this, which would be 18,350s. Very key levels here for us for today. 18,350. Okay, so we're pushing 18,330s, right? Prices rallying like crazy. So I would say this, where's the money? All right, the money is sitting right here on the buy side at 18,250s. So if they continue to run it, they continue to run it. So price had already set the low, 745. Good candle right there. That really was, honestly. And this first 15-minute candle, so we really want to see what's going to happen the first 15 minutes after 8:30. This candle is looking pretty solid, what it's doing. But let's see, because like I said, we still have previous day lows open. We still have not only previous day lows, but we have Asian liquidity still open at daily open. So I'm going to keep that on my forefront no matter what. All right, so 8:42. This is where we really want to start focusing on our timing. Okay, watching this 5-minute candle here. So we want to see what we get for this first 15-minute close. Nothing right now. Take a look at dollar index just to kind of get an idea of what's going on over there. Dollar index is starting to fail, right? 105.30s and falling, right? So we're gonna get. It seems like we're getting more bearishness out of that dollar since that rejection of 106.50. So yeah. Now going back to futures here, I mean it's skyrocketing ever since that downplay movement at New York, right? The false move down to then rally. At this point, price is bullish. So as price pulls back into this range, I would rather be looking for a buy under the New York Open. That would be even better to me. But if I don't see anything, I would say today by like 10 a.m., since we've had such an amazing week, there's nothing wrong with just go getting this paddle board out and going on the lake. Really not. Let's be patient. Now, I do like the breakdown, right? Since we have swept these highs, that could sell us down back into this buy, if that makes sense, okay? And then the right timing, right? 44 right now, this 5-minute close. I love 5-minute closes, right? So I do want to kind of frame up this high. I don't need to think about the stop loss. It's already present for me, right? 18,331 and 2/4. Right, so don't think hard about it. And then our take profits are always going to be back to that daily open no matter what. All right, so daily open is like 225s today. 225s, okay. So I do like how it looks right there, but look how the 5-minute open, 5-minute close, good close. Shit. Might end up taking this. Let's see. But no 5-minute weakness yet. So I really want to be patient here on a Friday for 5-minute weakness. And ever since, the 40 to 45 candle would be here, 40 to 45 strength. Now we have 45 going into 50. So we really want to focus right here. ES is having a little bit of trouble at that 52.62 area after taking the highs of the day. So I think we still have a little bit of room to go, like I said, on higher time frames. So we just need to be patient for those signals. But I do like how price is playing right here inside this candle here as like a reference point. And if we can, we can't keep pushing on the 5-minute, then we may have a chance to actually use this as our high. ES has swept those highs of the day and kind of slowed down. So that's really interesting to see. Not, like if I'm a better buyer than seller. So like what I'm really waiting for is that feeling that I get when I buy the market here. So my eyes are seeing this upside down. I know it's kind of crazy to say it, but until I get that signal that I want to see, then I can sit on the sidelines here. Bitcoin just hit 63,000 again, so just kind of finding some strength off that 60K level. And this looks like we are continuing higher. So looking at NQ, ES, and YM, there's no signs of weakness. Let me go ahead and mark up this first 15 minutes here. First 15-minute close was amazingly strong, so strong close. Okay, so I can move this out of the way because I don't really see that anymore. So strong close bullish for the first 15 minutes. Okay, just remembering we had the higher time frame target, right? 18,350s. We're about 25 points away from that with no signs of weakness on the time frames. So, another thing I like to do when I'm looking at a trade like this is if I would have took the 15 5-minute position, right? We had the push up here and then you play it and bigger stop at the 5-minute low. You would have been looking at from 47, 57, 67, right? From like right here, 57, you would have been looking at about a 15, 10 point risk on that. So you would be tying this thing off as it's rallying up to the upside right now. Now we are closing in 18,335s, 340s, right? We're coming up on that 350. So let's continue to watch that area because now in my eyes, the way that they engineered this liquidity here at New York Open and gave no, pullbacks into the area before rallying up, they may come back for them today. So let's just be patient here. And I hear Top Step saying they're going to get long when the 4 hours screaming to the upside. So that would be the opposite of what I would be wanting to do. So price is rallying 18,340s, ES 52.62 and pushing. So those 4 hours are looking really good. Let me take a look at those one more time. 4 hours are really bullish. Dailies very bullish, right? So if you can tell why I'm really looking at this level as we get there, daily we're coming into my level of key interest here on NQ inside this last push-up candle. So this is why I'm looking more at this than anything because ES doesn't really show me that same type of price action. So nothing but bullishness here. And that was a New York Open tap right there. Wow, nice. So yeah, we're up. Okay, so now we're up at 342s. So you could anticipate something here. So I'm gonna really lock in this area. Now the other thing is this 5-minute closes. So this 5 minutes getting ready to close in 6 seconds. I like to play above or below half or whole levels, right? So if we're playing right below, if you see the signal, great. If you see it push through and then present, then great, right? But let's see what we get. I like how strong this 5-minute candle is through it. So you want to know kind of what 50% of that candle would be. And that's right around this area, the 18,330. So, nothing here. I mean, it is showing weakness, but you don't want to get sucked into this because this may not be what we're really looking for. But I do like how it is at this level. So I will still start to frame something up because I want to see a 5-minute close. I want to see a 15-minute close as well in this area. So, and we are just, to me, we're extremely overbought. So, um, now this is going to be our focus area. We do need to focus on this candle here. All right. So lower open, lower close, not bad section there. And ES is sitting at 52.64 flat. So it's just I think this level is going to be a key area we're going to see. Nice, nice, nice. So it is starting to break down just slightly, I think. Let's see here. Strong close, bullish, and then okay. So that's the turnaround I like to see right there. So I will start to frame something up off of this at this point. Let's go ahead and move this over here. Now it's not breaking down that on it's not breaking 1 minute structure and it hasn't closed on the 5 minute yet. That 5 minute closing lower, I'm a better buyer than seller, right? If it was a close higher essentially here, then that would signal me in to start getting ready. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and start looking at that. Stop loss obviously would be the high of the market. So you see the price up there on the right, 18,348 flat. 348 flat. Take profit, daily opens, right? 18,225s. Okay. So right now that risk would not be the levels that I would want. So let's just wait for this 5 minute close and see how that presents. We're also looking for that 1 hour close here at 10, or excuse me, at 9 a.m. So we shall see. 8:45, yeah. Five-minute strong bullish. Okay, so 8:50 to 8:55. So we are in that area now. We're at from 8:50 to 8:55, and we're starting to get that reaction, right? But we're not getting the closure below the levels right now. So I want to me personally, I'd like to see like this 1 minute break structure, right? Technicals, line graph. I'd like to see that break lower than the 18,320s, and then pull as it pulls back into the area, I would stab at it. But without that confirmation here on a Friday with the week we've had, I just don't want to give back. So let's just be patient here. Okay, so focusing on this 15.5. Now this 5 minutes getting ready to close here, and this is the first sign of weakness that we've had since New York Open. So let's see that 8:50, 8:55. So I do like this price right here. Just not the signal yet. Now the risk right now would be relatively too much to the high of the market, but if you were looking at like this high right here, 18,345s would be a little bit different of a setup. So that could reduce the risk just a little bit. So I do kind of like that, but it's not really showing me that yet. So this 1 hour close, let's see if we can get a really strong close on that 1 hour, and then we can be patient here and see if we can, find something. But I do like how that's starting to look. But just really nothing that's really just, it's higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. I'd like to see that break. Take a look at this upside down, so it can be a little subjective. Now, this isn't a great area, right, on that 5 minute, on that 50% area, because if you strike right around this area, it'd be great. But I personally would just rather wait until I get more of what we're trying to see. ES 52.62 and a quarter, so it is kind of slightly moving up as we go along here. And then YM's on a fucking tear to the upside, excuse my language. So, she's been doing her own thing. I mean, that's about 700 plus points this week that they've rallied there. So It's cool. So now as price is coming into this last 1 minute up candle here, 18,338 3/4. This would be more of an area that I would anticipate trying to frame it to reduce the risk down to nothing. So let's watch this 5 minute, let's watch this hour and 15 5 minute close. That is a great area right there. So let's see what's their risk on that today. So I'd like to see a little bit more bearishness because then I could frame it off of this area, the 18,331s. So if I can see it sliding in that area, I would take it probably. And I'm not anticipating if this was to sell off, I'm not anticipating very much farther than 18,275 on the quarter, which would be that New York Open. So I'm going to take one right here in this area. So they did fill me in the area that I like. And then the one thing I will say, 18,331, 45. So that's about a 15-point risk. So I'll accept the full 20 here on this setup, which is fine. Just to have that framework of the move. Now I'm taking the 15 5 minute position. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to look for price to rally into my favor potentially, and then I'll be able to scale out of the position. But as of right now, I'm just kind of watching it and letting it play out. I think we may have a little bit higher to go. Let me make sure I have the numbers right. Okay, cool. I was just trying to make sure I had everything. Now, as we go back into point of interest, if we do, then that's where I'm going to scale out of a contract. So I don't want to scale out unless we go back below New York Open here. So I do really like that price. Entry was pretty good today so far. I'm very grateful for that. We're already into a profit almost, so this is a good reaction so far. Now, if we can push down to 18,300 fairly quickly, I may go ahead and pull out a contract there. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to reduce this down to 1. So I'm just trying to wait to see what kind of how this 5 minute closes. If this 5 minute can close below this level that I was talking about here, 18,320s, then there's definitely a good chance that this could go lower. But if it starts to kind of hold this level, then it's not as good. So price is pushing down really quickly there. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, now the reason let's focus. If price is pushing quickly like this, we need to come in and we need to take action. Okay, so trade. I'm gonna reduce this down here. Modify order down to 1. All right, so I'm still watching this price. Now, what I want to do is I'm just want to do this here. All right, and then I want to add one here just in case. Buy stop. One buy stop there. One there. So basically what I'm doing is I'm protecting myself, right? Top of the market here. So if price does come back up, then I'll be fine. And if price runs down, I'll just trail this down into profit. Okay. So I do want to move this box. You know where we're focusing. I just can't really see what I'm trying to see. So really good. We're already at $940 for the day. Keep pushing. If we can push through that 1,000, I'll go ahead and secure about 500 and walk away. Now we do need to watch this bounce here. ES is failing that 52.64 flat numbers, so that's really good. We're pushing 1,100 in profit right now, so I'm going to be looking to partial some of this move here very quickly. All right, so how do I want to manage that trade down? Because I'm going to pull this buy stop down with these 5 and 15 minute closes. So as we get closer and closer to New York, I definitely want to secure more and more of this trade. Okay. Really, really good trade so far. This is fire. Really good days. $1,700 in profit right now running. So let's go ahead and secure a little bit of this. Let's see here. We're pushing as we push to New York Open or below. That's kind of what I'm anticipating because price could just bounce off that New York Open and rally back up. So we want to make sure and protect ourselves here. 5 minute closes isn't looking that great. ES kind of having a hard time, falling off that level. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put one here and secure like a little bit at that 18,315s. And if price goes higher, then great, whatever. And then I'm going to reduce down my risk. Let me see what I have left. 18,331. So 41. So it's a little bit less than 20-point risk on that with, securing some of the bag there. So that's good. So I like the price here. 5 minute can stay bearish. That'll be great. 15 minute can stay bearish. That'd be great. ES is failing that 52.55 and 2/4. So that's really looking good. And in higher time frame, like I said, this does look like we were a little bit oversold. So I think what I'm going to do here, instead of putting it so close, is I'm going to put it right here in profit though. Or excuse me, I moved the wrong one. Let's keep it where I had it. So if it comes and takes me out for a small profit on that one, that's fine. Then I'll let the rest run. Now, remember, like I said, what I'm looking at, and we want to have our buy limits under Asian liquidity. And we need to remember that we have two trades on the board. So I'm going to be focused on that. Now, if they come back up and hit this area, we already have it a little bit secured. And then ES is playing right under that New York Open level. So we still haven't even gotten to New York Open level yet here, which is, I think, pretty interesting. But securing about 15, 20 points there, that's not bad. Nice, nice. We're at the 18,300s. If we can just fail 18,300 down, then, that'd be great. Okay, so 18,300 holding. ES still looks pretty bearish there on that 15. So we'll see with this first 5 minute close here of 9. Um, so 5 minutes starting to fail that 18,300 level, pretty nice. Now, if we can just rally down to the New York Open quickly, the 75 levels, then we're gonna have a really good trade on our hands. So 5 minute close above 18,300. So that was a quick bounce up. I'm glad we have our risk right there in that area. So we secured some profits right around here. Let's see. It still hasn't hit our area yet. Wow. Okay. So still in the trade right now. We'll see what they do here. ES kind of bouncing off that New York Open. So that's why I'm protected on the position. So cool. It partial this out of a little bit of the move, which is fine. And then I'm willing to accept the risk on the rest of what we have. So 18,348 is our risk with our entry 31. So it's about an 18-point risk to the downside. My mind is really trying to just focus here on getting to that daily open now. And potentially I'm gonna, since I have time today to be here, I'm going to actually move this down to the previous day low for just for right now. Now I may end up, getting out of that move sooner than that, but it'll depend on the buy stop management here soon, if we even get a chance to do that. So looking for this 5-minute close to go below 18.3 to attack New York Open would be really good. Now we need to just be patient here, just because, like I said, it is a Friday, and they could continue to. This could be on a 1 hour, like a breakout test to continue higher. I would love to see them go ahead and slip 18.300 right here. That would be really good. And then getting from 18.330s would be really nice. Really nice price. Let's go. So like moving that first one, I could have probably moved it to the 5-minute candle here, right? Because I have a really good entry, so I could have probably moved that first contract buy stop here. But I'm grateful for already taking some profit for the day. Let's see here. So I like how that 5-minute starting to fail, right? So that first, what time was this? 9 a.m. So 9 a.m. we got here. Let me get this. We've gotten that bearish price ever since then, which is really good. Pushing really fast here. So we're in a good profit here on this trade. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just probably down. Now technicals, if we can break lower, then you can start to see that this is really starting to gear up to be a potential area that we want, right? For prices slip, go below daily open, maybe just hit this last down candle, 206 levels, and then it goes. But I think because it's Friday that they may just fall off a cliff. Now we are breaking below 18.300 here, going into the 9:10 close. So if we can, let me see what that stop is. If we can get below New York Open, one rule I like to have for myself or what I have left on this trade is protect yourself or pay yourself or trail your risk, however you want to look at it. So if we can push down to here, I'll probably go ahead and trail my risk to the high right here in this 5-minute candle, or to this area right here where I took the trade. So, but we need to break this level because, like I said, they could just easily, this is just an easy breakout test to continue higher above 18.350s possibly. So we'll see if we get another 5-minute open, 5-minute close bearish. Now remember, I'm a better buyer than I am seller, so we did play the right side of the V, and we do have an external range liquidity of 18,250 right now. So that looks really good. We're pushing fast. Still got one contract on the board and really managed the trade, I think, pretty fluently. So let's see what we get. Nice. Price is pushing. Let me make sure and pull this up over here. So we did fail that 18,300 level. Now we're pushing fast, right, into the New York Open. So this is where your eyes want to focus on that 15-minute, right? You have last down candle, you have New York Open, but you have that same thing I said about 15 minutes ago, potentially, right? I'm not saying that this is going to for sure work this way, but that where's the money, right? The money is sitting right under these areas, right? The money is sitting right under this area here, okay? So we're pushing pretty fast here. I really like this trade. Really good management. I thought yesterday was a really great day, but today is actually starting to turn out a little bit better to me personally. Now we're at that, pay yourself, protect yourself zone. So I'd say somewhere into here, 18,314s would be another good area to secure. But for me today, like I said, because of the entry location on the 5-minute, being inside the 15-minute wick, I think there's going to be a good chance to really push this thing down. Now, ES is at that same level, but below New York Open, but still respecting 15 5-minute price action. So this is a pivotal moment of what's going to happen. So no matter what, since we already have a profitable day on our hands, I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is pull this down to right here, 18,338 and a quarter. And if we can go ahead and push through the level 18,250, I'm going to start trailing this buy stop to really tie this bad boy off for the day. Really, really good trade here. Now we're pushing New York Open pretty quickly here, so this is looking really good. So I'm just going to keep holding on to this bad boy and watching. Now we have till the end of the day, which is going to be Yeah, it should be here as the 15 minutes are. So we have quite a bit of time in the day, right, to still continue down. So this is where I kind of, like I said, with management, I wish I still had the 2 contracts on because it would have been a little bit better. Um, but computer's kind of being wild. Okay, hopefully that's them getting ready to just gear the price down to the downside. That would be great. So price isn't really showing any signs of strength right there. I would say personally. So we're just going to continue to watch this 15.5. Now, this 15 minutes not really showing me what I want to see personally going into, the end of this, how it closes. I may go ahead and just take this for the day and run, which would put me at a really, really good day with the partial. So, but I really want to be patient today since I have such a great entry and just get down into the 18,200s or possibly daily opens the quarter. So it looks good to be patient here. Really, really good learning lesson video for anybody watching as well. I feel like just because just being able to break these trades into 2 pieces is really helping my whole mindset. So maybe patient and just focus here. So I'm really watching this 5 minute candle because, like I said, in a minute, if they can close, relatively really, bearish, like a lower open, lower close, and they continue, then great. So if I was to, trail my wrist anywhere, it'd probably be into this like 293s areas. But I just don't want to yet, just because I have a pretty good one on my hands, I feel like. But this is the same way price built up yesterday, so I do want to be understanding of what's going on. Now taking a look at ES is the one that's getting ready to fail that 5250 level. So they still all have their daily and Asian liquidity open, but they are responding quite well off that level, unfortunately. So dollar index is kind of sitting in that same spot, not really showing too much. So really want to watch these 5 minute closes. I'm a better buyer than seller, so I want to see if they're going to close above New York Open. In a sense, what we're looking for here is below, right? But I'm a better buyer, so like I'm like, okay, if this 5 minute can close higher, then the likelihood of them taking that next technical high, aka low, would be a lot higher. Okay, but if they're bouncing off this level, it's not as great. So I like that 5 minute close. It closed lower than New York, showing signs of weakness. So that looks really good, guys. I mean, that shit's pushing. I'm gonna go ahead and trail my risk in the profit, I believe, off that 5 minute, but I really want to see this push on through. But the failure here at the New York Open, there's not really anything showing me that they would run it back, but we have to really watch how they close the candles in this area. So I think what I'm gonna do is I am gonna go ahead and secure down to here for today on this account, no matter what. So 280. So I just secured 31, about 50 more points plus what I've already secured. Right. So now we're just letting this thing ride off, hopefully. And if not, then we're out of here with a profit still pretty good for today. But what we don't want, right, is for price to, and I'm not saying we don't want, but in this position we're exactly in, is for price to do exactly what it's doing here. Right. So we're looking really good. This should still knock us out for about $1,000+ in profit for the day. And like I said, I could move that risk down, but it's just the way that we're playing. So cool. That's it for today. All right. So our profit for today was definitely really nice. I will be grateful with that. And if you think about it yesterday, if you watched the reporting from yesterday, very similar price action of what happened. So like I said, I think what I can do is manage a little bit better with my first 2 contracts and then go from there. But with that being said, for the stream today, thank you guys for watching Into the Futures. We've had an amazing week, and I'm going to leave it that way. One of the biggest things I can say I've done since the last 2 weeks is have had really good weeks to start and gave back quite a bit on the Friday. So to finish this week and not have to give back anything feels a lot better. And if price continues to do whatever it's going to do, then let it do whatever it's going to do. But with that being said, I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you guys next week for Into the Futures. Have a good rest of your week. Trade safe.